And we're back here at the University of Southern Mississippi as we continue to meet some of our coaches on Coach Jay Hopson's coaching staff. Tim Billings is with us now. He is the assistant head coach. He also coaches the outside linebackers for the Golden Eagles. And Tim, I know there's a connection between you and Coach Hopson, but tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you were before you wound up at Southern Miss, and a little bit about what attracted you to coming to Southern Miss and being a part of Hop's coaching staff.
Well, I'm kind of the old guy on the staff, so I've been about everywhere. I grew up in Texas, and I coached high school, and I actually went to school in Oklahoma and coached high school in Texas and Oklahoma. And then I took a job with Warren Powers at the University of Missouri as a young coach. Then I went and got the opportunity to coach with Barry Switzer at Oklahoma and won a national championship there, and then went back to Missouri to coach with Woody Wittenhofer. And during those when I was at Missouri and at Oklahoma, I met Jim Donnan, and Jim got the Marshall job, and so I went to Marshall. Great run there. He left. I stayed with Bob Pruitt, and of course Bob brought Jay in, and that's how we became friends. And after that, I left, took a head job at Southeast Missouri State. From there, I went to Wake Forest and coached with Jim Grobe, and then to Memphis with Justin Fuente. And then I decided it's about time to semi-retire. So I took a head coach and AD job in high school in Texas, and then of course Jay got the Southern Miss job and called me, and the reason I'm at Southern Miss because Jay Hopson, the type of person he is and the man he is, and I don't know what kind of program he'll bring here.
So I get the feeling that it would have taken somebody special like Hop to get you to maybe come back into the full-time coaching of college football.
There's no questions. I'd had some calls and some offers and some things that I could have done, and my wife and I talked about it, and we weren't going to leave anywhere unless it was with the right person and with the right program too. Going to Marshall, and then even when I was at Southeast Missouri and at Wake and at Memphis, they were all kind of rebuilding jobs. And here, not only just being with Jay, but an opportunity to, build on what's already happened here in the last few years. It really, it kind of excited me and my wife, and with coming with Jay Hopson, it was a no-brainer.
You've been around college football for a long time. What did you know about Southern Miss? What was the perception out there as you were at other places about the football at Southern Miss, the football program at Southern Miss?
Well, of course, Jay and I were friends, and he came here the first time, and he worked with Tyrone Nix, and I know Ty real well, and I found out a lot about the school, and all the championships, beating Houston and beating TCU and all that. And of course, Jay coming back here, and I knew that the tradition here, especially defensively, the great tradition they had here with defense, and with Jay here, and again at my age, the weather, the location, Hattiesburg close to the beach is. Being an old Texas boy, anything north didn't attract me at all. But Jay, Hattiesburg, and Southern Miss were the three reasons I came.
Is the Southern Miss, you mentioned the Southern Miss tradition, is the tradition and sort of that attitude that Southern Miss has defensively, does that sort of jive with the way you've always liked to play, kind of chip on your shoulder defense and attack and go after the other team, make things happen?
There's no question. I've been a coordinator twice, once at Marshall, and when everybody talks about Marshall, it's always Randy Moss and Chad Pennington, Byron Leftwich. Well, defensively, we always had a chip on our shoulder, and we had some great defenses there, but we were known for offense. And even at Wake Forest, going against Clemson's and Florida States, and those kind of things with Miami, Boston College, that the little school and having a chip on your shoulder, but one thing about Southern Miss is it's known for the tough, tenacious defense. And of course, being a defensive guy most of my life, that was very intriguing.
What that obviously is your sort of attitude or philosophy about defense, and it kind of fits in with what we've always done at Southern Miss. Talk about this defense as you've watched them in spring practice, watched them during some of these summer workouts. What sort of stands out about some of the defensive guys overall that the Eagles have coming back?
Well, I think one that we have some speed here, You know, the one thing you always wonder is, especially coming into a new league, you know, you look at your kids, and I feel like we have some really good players, but I don't know how to, you know, I kind of try to compare them to the ACC. We're not as big in some areas. And of course, I was at Memphis at the AAC, and I feel like we're pretty comparable to there. So the one thing I think it really is a new coaching staff coming in, you have to be in the league for a year to kind of get a feel for everybody and say, okay, how do we compare with everybody else in your league? Because you know, it doesn't really matter how good or bad you are. You're going to be compared against who you play, and so I feel good. You know, of course, Jay's always been great on defense, and you know, basically he still runs the old Southern Miss defense they've always run, and you know, we've always kept in touch. So with he and Tony Pecorar's new DC, the type of defense they bring in here, I think the kids have adapted to it very, very well, and I'm excited to see what we can do this year.
You're going to be coaching the outside linebackers. Talk about some of those guys that fall under that category and what you're looking for out of those guys this year.
You know, coaching outside linebackers is really a unique situation in this defense. You know, we have our nickel, we call him, which is our outside linebacker to the field, and he's called a nickel because he's kind of a fifth defensive back. And you know, Picasso Nelson here from Oak Grove, he's kind of the mainstay there right now. Smart, tough, really, really smart football player. We've got Kelsey Douglas, Walden Davis, and Justin Abston. You know, and so that you know, they do a lot of covering man-to-man zone, and we bring them sometimes. Of course, you know, with Jay and our defense, we bring them all sometimes. But you know, and then on the other side, we call the Wolf is the outside linebacker to the field, which is to the boundary, which is a very hybrid type defensive player. You know, they get their hand in the ground some. Sometimes they stand up. They're more of a pass rusher and a blitzer than a cover guy. And so, you know, we have Jabari Poole, who's going to be a senior, is doing a good job, and Yancey, I think it's Darian Yancey from Auburn, Alabama. You know, they're kind of a hybrid big guy that, you know, they're athletic enough to stand up, but, you know, big enough and physical enough and quick enough to rush the passer. So it's an interesting scenario to try to coach those guys at the same time, because even though they're both outside linebackers, they're so different.
You've been around a long time like I have. It's funny how it's changed. Guys that used to be defensive backs are now linebackers. Guys that were linebackers play up on the defensive front. The game has gone to, you know, faster, quicker guys a lot in cases.
Well, there's no question. You know, that all the changes in defense now, one with the speed of the offense. You know, they try to snap the ball within 10 seconds. So, you know, that and spread, and plus now with all the RPOs and people that don't know what that is, that's read pass option. Basically, it's tough on linebackers and secondary guys because they run a running play, but they throw the football down the field, which a lot of coaches say that's cheating, but that's what everything's gone to, is that, you know, the RPO world's really changed, especially it's changed defense and plus the speed of the game.
All right, Tim, you've been here, well, you've been on the road some, but in the short time you and your family have been in Hattiesburg, what have you enjoyed about being in Hattiesburg and being a part of Southern Miss?
Well, the people. I mean, really, you know, I'm an old Southern boy at heart, and this is the true South. It's what I'm used to. And the one thing, two things that I've really, you know, haven't been out in the town a lot, some, but one, the quality of people that and coaches that Coach Hopson's put together, Jay's put together, is just phenomenal. And just the all the coaches, all the athletic department that Bill's put together, it's you know, it's so important, especially been in the business as long as we have, that you got to enjoy going to work every day. And so to do that, you got to be around quality people that are caring for each other, and there's a common goal of the university and the athletic department, and not everybody's in for it for themselves. And that's the greatest thing about here is the quality people at Southern Miss.
All right, well, Tim, thanks for taking some time to visit with us. Great to have you here at Southern Miss and a part of the Southern Miss family. Look forward to an exciting 2016.
I'm excited about it. Thanks.
All right, that's Tim Billings. He's the assistant head coach. He coaches the outside linebackers for the Golden Eagles. He takes a few minutes. We thank him for visiting with us today, get you up to date a little bit on what's going on, and a chance to meet Tim Billings up close and personal. More to come on our interviews with our Golden Eagle coaches. So thanks for being with us, everybody. We'll see you next time.